A dilapidated industrial site in the Czech Republic where German businessman Oskar Schindler saved 1,200 Jews during World War II has been transformed into the Museum of Survivors, dedicated to the Holocaust and Jewish history in the region.
제2차 세계대전 당시 독일인 사업가 오스카 쉰들러가 유대인 1,200명을 구해냈던 체코의 낡은 공장이 일명 생존자 박물관으로 새롭게 개관해 이 지역 홀로코스트 및 유대인 역사를 기리게 됐습니다.
Yeah, so this, of course, we were just talking about the movie Schindler's List. This is based, or Schindler's List was based off of the life of Oskar Schindler, a Nazi member. And this textile factory that he owned has been turned into this museum. It was stolen by the Nazis from its Jewish owners back in 1938 and later turned into a concentration camp. But the opening of this museum coincides with the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II this year. You remember from the movie that he was given a ring because he saved a lot of Jews because he employed them, right, in his factory. And that's what the movie was based on. But this museum, another dedication to sort of the memory of the Holocaust, which is a very dark point in civilization, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. The industrial site has been described here as being dilapidated.
Yeah, so of course it's very old. It's decayed, it's deteriorated, sort of fallen into ruin, and that's how we describe something as dilapidated.
다 허물어져가는 굉장히 파손이 많이 된 dilapidated, D-I-L-A-P-I-D-A-T-E-D, dilapidated. And this museum is dedicated to the Holocaust and Jewish history.
Yeah, so when you commit something for a certain purpose or a cause, or if it's intended for a specific use, it's dedicated to something. So oftentimes you'll see a little dedication or a memorial in front of a building or a monument to remember somebody or something.
If you open a book, oftentimes near the front, it'll say dedicated to my wife or my child or my parents or something.
A lot of time movies are dedicated to people as well. The director will put up a little graphic. This movie is dedicated to the life of blank.
Exactly.
Right.
누구에게 바칩니다. This is dedicated to 누구누구. Okay, well, here's the headline one more time. A dilapidated industrial site in the Czech Republic where German businessman Oskar Schindler saved 1,200 Jews, during World War II has been transformed into the Museum of Survivors dedicated to the Holocaust and Jewish history in the region. 네, 참고로 홀로코스트는 그 유대인 학살을 얘기하죠. Let's move on to the next headline.
New research warns that the climate crisis is threatening the future of bananas, the world's most popular fruit, with nearly 2/3 of banana growing areas in Latin America and the Caribbean at risk of becoming unsuitable for cultivation by 2080.
기후위기로 인해 세계에서 가장 많이 소비되는 과일인 바나나의 미래가 위협받고 있다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. 이에 따르면 중남미와 카리브해 국가에 위치한 바나나 재배 면적의 거의 3분의 2가 2080년까지 바나나 재배에 부적합한 땅으로 바뀔 것이라는 관측입니다.
Yeah, so bananas very important for world food and hunger in a way. It's the most consumed fruit. It's the fourth most important food crop globally after wheat, rice, and maize or corn, right? More than 400 million people rely on bananas for between 15 and 27% of their daily calories. So this is really troubling news because a lot of these regions in Latin America and the Caribbean, countries like Guatemala, Costa Rica, Colombia, they yield a lot of this fruit, but rising temperatures, extreme weather, climate-related pests are sort of hitting these areas really hard and devastating these rural communities across the region, according to this new report. So by the year 2080, as the headline suggests, these areas may not be able to cultivate or grow bananas.
Exactly. Do you remember, they used to say bananas were quite rare back in the day, maybe in the 70s, 80s in Korea. And so, just to get one banana was quite a novelty.
Yeah.
But now it looks like we're heading towards that kind of era again.
Yeah, back in my day when I was old, bananas used to cost, right? That's because I think bananas were not able to be grown in Korea. But now, of course, you have greenhouses and sort of local farms. And also the temperature's changing here in Korea as well. But I remember bananas were sort of a luxury in a way here.
That's what I heard
Korea.
anyway. Yeah, exactly.
But in a ways, I've heard somewhere that bananas are a real superfood because it has all the nutrients. It's packed with potassium, right? And it gives you a lot of energy. I know a lot of marathon runners, athletes in general.
A lot of athletes,
when they need a boost of energy, a banana is the perfect food. It's easy to consume. You don't have to you peel it, but it's easy to peel. And that's why a lot of primates like monkeys and apes, I believe, stereotypically love bananas as well.
그러니까요, 뭐 굉장히 운동 선수들도 바나나를 좋아하고 또 I know some musicians also love to have a banana or two before their concerts and performances. 뭐 여러모로 우리가 평소에 운동 선수가 아니더라도 운동할 때도 바나나 먹으면 포만감도 있고 에너지 부스터여서 참 좋은데 그런 바나나를 앞으로 우리가 좀 쉽게 구하지 못할 수도 있겠다. 재배지가 그렇게 줄어들고 있어서 좀 우려가 되네요. I love bananas too, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do know that if you eat too many bananas in one sitting, it can also cause a little constipation. Right? But in any case, sort of these banana growing areas, often referred to as banana plantations, right? And they're specific regions that commercially cultivate bananas. You would call a banana growing area. And they're usually hot tropical climates, warmer temperatures. And so these areas are being affected.
Exactly. 그래서 banana plantation의 또 다른 표현으로 banana growing areas. 바나나 재배 지역.
And that's where the term banana republic comes from. If you know that term. So a banana republic is usually referred to a small country that has a little political instability. It's poorer, it's corrupt, it's badly ruled. And it came up in the early 20th century to refer to countries in South and Central America. That's where we get that term.
I see. Now, if something is unsuitable, what's that?
If something's unsuitable, it's not appropriate, it's not fitting, or it's unacceptable for a certain purpose. To suit someone or something is suited, that means it's the opposite, right? So you have the word suited, but there's also the word suitable. They're both sort of used interchangeably. If you had to make the difference, suited is more of a perfect fit, I would say. Something's very fit for something, but suitable sort of has a broader meaning that something is right or appropriate for a situation.
Exactly. 자, 적합하다, suitable. 적합하지 않다, unsuitable. 여기서 스펠링은요, unsuitable.
Yeah, think of a suit, right? Because it fits perfectly, especially if you make it custom made. There you
그래요.
go.
그다음에 뭐 어울린다라고 할 때도 that suits you.
Yep.
그 옷이 너한테 잘 어울린다.
Yes.
그래요. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. New research warns that the climate crisis is threatening the future of bananas, the world's most popular fruit, with nearly 2/3 of banana growing areas in Latin America and the Caribbean at risk of becoming unsuitable for cultivation by 2080. Now let's move on to our final headline.
Former Uruguayan president Jose Pepe Mujica, known for his modest lifestyle and often called the world's poorest president, has died at the age of 89.
검소한 생활로 유명해 세계에서 가장 가난한 대통령으로 불리기도 했던 호세 페페 무히카 전 우루과이 대통령이 89세를 일기로 별세했습니다.
Yeah, so the former president ruled Uruguay from 2010 to 2015. The exact cause of his death is unknown at this point, but it is known that he suffered from esophageal cancer. But Uruguay, of course, a country in South America, just 3.4 million inhabitants there. But he's one of the few rulers, sort of in a cynical way, that's never been accused of corruption or of undermining his country's democracy like a lot of other countries countries in the region there as well. Even while he was president, he didn't live in the presidential residence. He just stayed in sort of his modest home on the outskirts of the capital, Montevideo.
Yeah.
And he also drove a sort of dilapidated, if you want to use that word, vehicle, even during his reign and afterwards as well. And he donated a large portion of his salary as president. And then that's why he got the moniker or sort of the nickname, the world's poorest president.
그래요. 본명은 호세 무히카인데 페페로 이제 많이 불렸기 때문에 호세 페페 무히카 이렇게 얘기를 했는데 보통 영어에서 이렇게 닉네임을 얘기할 때는 가운데다가 따옴표를 쓰고 quotation marks 안에다가 그 닉네임을 붙이죠. So Jose Pepe in quotation marks, Mujica, a very modest president he was indeed.
Yeah, and it's sort of I don't know anything about his policies or his stance on certain issues, but it is sort of a role model in a way for a lot of, global leaders are often thought to be corrupt and sort of their policies have different sort of intentions or purposes, but this is something that maybe a lot of leaders can maybe look up to in terms of really serving the people that elected them.
All right. Tell us what the word modest means.
Yeah, if something is modest, that means it's unassuming in a way. It's moderate. Humble, I think, is probably the best word to describe it.
그렇죠. 굉장히 겸손한 거를 modest라고 얘기할 수 있겠고요. And he's often called this.
Yes, we were talking about Pepe. And so if someone is commonly known as something, it's sort of to introduce that nickname or that description, right? Like Sue, the best teacher at EBS, Choi.
Well,
I made that up.
Thank you, but I don't know what to say. Often called라는 것은 이제 종종 이렇게 불린다라는 의미가 되겠죠.
Right. So it's not an official title, the world's poorest president, but he's often described as that.
네, 맞아요. 그래서 세계에서 가장 가난한 대통령으로 자주 불렸었다 이게 되겠고요. 또 참고로 왜 근데 사람들이 호세 모히카인데 페페라고 불렀나 제가 잠깐 찾아보니까 스페인어로는 호세를 줄여서 페페라고 많이 한대요.
Yeah.
I guess it's like the the shortened versions of names in English. We have loads of those like Bob, Robert, Bill, William. But Pepe. Jose.
It's sort of a cute way to a term of, not a term of endearment, but it's just sort of a nickname that sticks oftentimes. And in Latin America, I know names get very long. Oftentimes they have 4 names because they have their given name, their family name, but also they take their father's family name as a middle name as well as their mother's. So they'll have 4 names. So they reduce it like this.
Got it. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Former Uruguayan President Jose Pepe Mujica, known for his modest lifestyle and often called the world's poorest president, has died at the age of 89. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Shane.